Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at a map called Cadort Island. And as you can see, there are actually two versions of the map available. One is the yellow edition, the other one is the normal edition. We're going to start off in the normal edition, and then eventually we'll move over to the yellow one. We're going to start this off with an Ibishu 200BX Demon version, which is a car I do not use frequently because it's hard to control at low speeds, medium speeds, and high speeds. Yeah, it's basically hard to control at every single speed you can imagine, but I need something that's really fast in a straight line for what I'm about to do. And what I'm about to do is not the jump necessarily, I'm just doing that because it's there. And I'm pretty sure that's damaged my suspension in some way. And any suspension damage I have right here could be a huge issue, so I'm going to just go ahead and respawn the car up. And then we are going to accelerate a lot. I should probably get on the throttle a little more gently right there. Spinning the wheels is not the way you want to get started. So now we can actually go full throttle with this thing. And I'm going to do my very best to keep this thing in a straight line. Not easy. You would think it would be, but this thing likes to sway back and forth as it drives. That's why it's the Demon. But even with that swing, we should be able to hit about 200 miles per hour. Now, what do you get out of that 200 miles per hour? Well, you get some serious airtime. Like, this is, we're going as high as a rocket ship kind of airtime right here. And I did some testing to try to figure out which car could get the highest top speed in that distance. And I was pretty sure the Demon was the car. That's why I decided to use it. I'm trying to look at how much damage it has. For how high it was flying in the air, it's actually not that much. The roll cage really held up the main body well, although the engine is basically just completely falling out of the car. And that is all I'm going to be doing with this car, so we're going to swap it out for a much more reasonable car, like the 3000i version of the ETK-i series. So this isn't a fancy sports car or anything like that. It's a basic version of the ETK-i series with a slightly bigger engine. And that's really all there is to it. Now, if you didn't notice, as we were driving along this road, there were actually some jumps on the right side of it. I was so focused on the one going straight ahead, I didn't do any of those yet. So now we're going to try to find those and hit them, and the first one should be coming up very shortly. There it is, so we could just pop off that jump, which puts us over the building. And then, well, nothing's gonna work after that probably, right? Surprisingly, I can still put power down. Can I steer though? No. So we're gonna bring this thing back to the road, and then we're gonna do the next jump along the road. It's nice to get to see the flipping happening again. It's one of the reasons I do that, because it's cool to be able to see exactly what you did. It's almost like a replay, but not quite. And, you know, I could technically do replays with the whole replay system, but you know what? Replays are overrated. If you want to see a replay, just rewind the video. Ta-da! It's not exactly the same, I know. Anyways, here's another jump. That one doesn't really go anywhere, though. It's just kind of a smooth landing until you crash into a tree and ruin your drive shaft. Also, for some reason, there's a little bridge-looking jump right up here, and I'm not exactly sure how in the world you would actually get to that and drive through it with a lot of speed, because it just kind of sits up there. Maybe you could use that one over there to somehow line yourself up a little bit, but you're still going to have to reduce your speed a lot to come at it from the right angle. Anyways, there's one more jump along this road. As you can tell, jumping through the air is a theme in this map. So the next one, you could actually already see it. There's just this little tiny corner peeking out, and then boom, we are lined up. We can fly. And we can actually land that one a little smoothly until, once again, hello trees, how are you doing today? And that straightaway we were driving on is basically one edge of the map, and the map is a square, so that gives you a little bit of an idea of how big the map actually is. Although, your impression may be skewed because we were going 200 miles per hour at the end of the road, which makes it feel smaller than it actually is. So anyways, now we're going to continue along this road, and this road goes to yet another jump. Now this jump, you have two options. You could fly into the trees, or you could try to land it smoothly. Now I have my foot to the floor here, so you can figure out which one I plan to do. Yeah, it was fly into the trees, because to me that's a lot more fun to look at. So we could not drive that anymore because the drive shaft is broken. It doesn't seem like there's anything too interesting on the crash itself, so we'll just keep on driving along. Another corner right here, gotta clear that. I was a little bit worried about this car. It's like, you're gonna steer, right? For a second, it just didn't feel like it was going to make it. I don't know why. Anyways, we got another jump right here. This one I'm going to make it a little bit more interesting as we fly through the air than last time. We're going to go off the corner, get a little bit of a spiral going. Not a huge spiral, unfortunately, but a tiny bit that makes the crash more interesting. And additionally, we have a car that can still drive, at least to some extent. Question is, can we get it back to the road and continue along? I think we can. I wish I had a compass right here, though, because I'm not exactly sure if I'm heading towards the road anymore. I flew quite a good distance. I see the road just over the hills right there, so I know I'm going in the right direction. Bouncing all over the place. So over to our side right here, on the left, we have a bunch of roads that are just straightaways that end in different props. So this one, for example, if we go all the way to the end, we have a small jump. Whoop! Into the air and into the sand, which isn't too terribly deep, so you can land that without damaging your car. Gotta kind of swerve through these rocks, though, because those will damage the car. I like how both the doors are open right there. So over here, we have another jump. It's a little bit smaller than the one we did before. I'll just smack my car into it from the front instead of doing both of the jumps. And then over to the right, we have something that's not a jump. You'd expect, oh, it's an even smaller jump, right? Nah, well, I mean, kind of. Like, yeah, you can say that's technically a jump, but it's more of a flip ramp to me to flip your car over while you go over it. Now, at this point, this car is pretty damaged, so I'm just going to swap it out for an ETK K-Series, and we'll go with the KC6T, which is the fastest version of the car to me because the all-wheel drive just adds weight. I don't really need all-wheel drive with this car because it's not super powerful or anything like that. So anyways, we have this little area over here. There's actually a road that goes through here. Not really the best car to drive through this road, though. As you can see, there are rocks all over that road. Now, where does the road go? Well, it kind of just dead ends. It's like, well, why do we drive on that road? I don't know. Get myself into the middle of the trees. Now, this whole section I was driving into, it's basically just one big court. In a way, because it's just a dead end. So we're going to try to find the entrance that we came through and then continue driving along the perimeter of the map. Now the entrance should be somewhere in this direction. Oh, there it is. We got to fly into it a little bit. Make it smooth. All right, just a little bit of radiator damage. Perfect. See, boom, there's the big ramp again. And we are right back where we were just a few minutes ago. Although I'm flooring it with this car. And I was saying, oh yeah, it's fine. I'm flooring it right now. We just now reached 60. This thing feels as slow as a regular Ibishu Pessima right now. It should not. It's also pulling to the right really hard. Maybe I'll let it pull. You want to pull to the right so bad? Fine. I'm going to let you just pull whichever way you want. You steer all on your own. See, this is what happens when you pull to the side. Do you understand the consequences of your actions now, car? You better, because I'm going to keep driving you, lucky for you. Although it won't reset. There we go. I've noticed for some reason while playing this game that I'll hit a keyboard button and it doesn't work. But if I click on the game and then hit the keyboard button, it does work. It's weird. Over here we got another road. Oh my goodness. How did that take off my wheel? How is it going that fast? Just hit it at a really bad angle for the car to lose its wheel like that. So anyways, right here we have a road that basically goes straight through the map. I'm just here for this ramp right there. It's a fun ramp to hit. There's also one to the left going in the opposite direction if you wanted to. And that actually is a pretty interesting looking impact, so we'll go ahead and take a quick look at the vehicle, trying to hide behind the little palm tree I see. You can't hide from my camera, except if my camera was in this position, then you can hide. But if it's in this position, I see you. And that's all I wanted to do with that straightaway, so we'll go ahead and back up out of here and continue along the perimeter once again. And at the end of this, there will be a huge collision at over 100 miles per hour, hopefully, as long as I don't make a mistake on a straightaway. First off, real quick, right there, it's like kind of a tunnel, but not completely a tunnel. And that tunnel is so distracting, I almost messed up my 100+ mile per hour crash I was planning. But not completely. I still got this. So we're going to hit this ramp, flip a little bit, and boom, right into the building. And that basically broke everything for this car. It's not going to move at all. Go and take a quick pan of the damage there. The way the hood just popped off like that's pretty interesting. And of course you got the fire. We'll reset it right there and then continue over to that building directly in front of the car. Now right here we have a mud puddle, which isn't really appropriate for this vehicle because if I try to drive through this, the water will just flood the engine before you know it. But if you have a car with a lot of ground clearance, like say the D15 extended cab off-road version of the D-Series, you could actually drive through this. And I guess if you really, really wanted to, you could drive through some of these sections using the ETK K-Series. You just got to clutch in as you go through the deeper sections and stay at the high ground like that. But I don't want to do that. I want to dive into the water and let the truck just bounce through it. You notice it still is getting a little bit of engine flooding and then drying up every now and then. So the engine is getting wet. But luckily, we're bouncing enough, and I'm never really getting the engine stuck in the water where we can keep driving along. So right here, we kind of have like a valley to the water, and you just got to go through here a little bit more slowly than the other area, because if you make a mistake, you'll smack into a wall instead of just going slightly off course. Like right here, got to be careful there. And that's actually a smack in the wall as well. But apparently, smack in the wall isn't going to do that much damage to the truck. Right here, we got some rocks, go right over them. And that was a dumb decision. I should not have done that, but I did it anyways. And then, once again, we continue along the perimeter of this road, although we do have a little bit of damage to the D-Series, causing it to pull slightly to the left. I can keep it straight enough, but it's not really fun to do that, so let's just whack it into a tree. Or a bush. Whichever it ends up crashing into, I didn't really care. Pretty good amount of damage right there. Drive shaft broken, so it's not going anywhere at all. So let's get a new one that can go somewhere. We don't have to bring it back that far since we have an off-road vehicle. I'm not afraid to be driving through the grass a little bit. Actually, that grass you could drive through it with basically any vehicle. And there are also a couple of side roads here and there. Like right here, there's a side road that just kind of goes along the beach. You also have a few jumps on this, and with this truck, we can just attack those jumps, land them, and then hopefully not fall directly into the water. That was a little dumb. Now you notice if we look off in the horizon, there's something in the air. What is in the air? Well, the only way to find out is to go directly at it. Unfortunately, the water's deep, so you can't do that with the truck. Instead, we can do that with the magical floating camera. So what's over here? It's a magical floating boat. Why? Just kind of a little Easter egg in the map. The developer knows it's there and put it in there for fun. It's supposed to be like, this is the haunted port. And supposedly you can see lights at night, he said, but he or she said, I should say. But I didn't see them when I went to night mode. I don't know if I was just looking in the wrong direction or I'm at the wrong port or what. Only there was a way to dry out an engine and keep driving, right? So anyways, though, that road continues along right here, and we'll just go ahead and drive along it. Now, it's basically running parallel to a paved road that you will be missing as we drive on this one, because I don't feel like backtracking for every single road, because there are quite a few roads here, and ow, that is some awful driving. I kind of forgot. This is not a paved road. You will slide when you go around corners and you try to do things. Sometimes I just blank out about that kind of thing. Either way, though, we are back on the road, and you see there's a jump right there. Such a nice looking jump, too. Okay, you know what? We're going to backtrack for the jump. First, though, let me just wreck this truck up. Actually, you know what? Let's not do the jump with the truck. Let's do it with something else. So, quick look at the damage of the truck. You can't really see it because of the water. Never mind then. So, let's just go ahead and pop the truck back onto the road. And then we're going to swap it for an ETK 800. We're going to go with the 856 TT Sport Plus because we do need a fast car here. Because I want to be able to land on the landing zone on that jump. And it is a pretty big distance away. Now, to actually land smoothly is really, really difficult. I just want to land near the other ramp. So here we go at about 94, 95 miles per hour. And that's close enough for me. Because I've done some testing. 93, you undershoot it. 95, you overshoot it. You got to be right in between those. And it said 94, so you can't get too much closer than that. So go ahead, reset it back over here, and then we'll swap it once again for an Ibishu Miramar GTZ. Because I feel like driving something older, but not Burnside old. Maybe a little bit later, but right now, this is the perfect car for what I want to be driving. And we're going to go up on this dirt road right here. Now, you don't need an off-road vehicle here. It could be helpful, but I'm pretty sure this Ibishu Miramar can take this road no problem. A Civetta Bolide, it might struggle a little bit more because it has less ground clearance than this, but this one has a pretty decent amount of ground clearance. So even though we're bouncing all over the place, I can remain in control and keep it mostly on the road without having to worry about the way the bumps look. The reason we're driving along this dirt road right here, so we could go to this bridge of dirt that separates two bodies of water. That's why it's a bridge, I say. It separates the bodies of water. We could drive along this as fast as possible. We're going to floor it and see how fast we can go. It's a little bit bumpier here, and ooh, getting a little airtime, but the Miramar is not phased. Although it is drifted a little bit. Slow down. Ooh, almost hit those rocks. Gotta really calm down right there. So if we keep driving, eventually you just kind of dead into the water. You're like, I give up. The Miramar has completed its goal, so in to the water, and it's actually just going through the water. I didn't realize it was so shallow. Hold on. No. I want to actually try to drive through this somehow. Don't you dare drown on me. You need to get out of that water so you can go through it without drowning. Now, if you're wondering how in the world this could possibly work, well, the secret is using the clutch. So we're going to back up a long way so you can get a decent amount of speed going into this. Actually, probably need a little bit more speed than I can get from this position. So we're going to go over to here, spin the car around, and then we can get a lot of speed as we try this stupid idea right here. So we go as fast as we possibly can. And then once we hit the water, clutch in, let the engine rev down. So that way it doesn't flood too fast. And then we go on the gas. Oh, can't go on the gas right there. And through the water. And that's with a pretty low car. That is impressive. So that's actually a road that goes through because there's some dirt at the end. Never noticed that because I thought the water would be way deeper right there. Awesome. Anyways, I got a little jump right here. Miramar lands it like a champ. That was like such a flat and smooth landing. I feel bad crashing into the tree, but I was just in so much shock, I forgot to steer. How well can you drive? Not too well anymore. I think it's about time we get this for something else. So we'll just try to pop it up onto its roof, and it unfortunately landed itself upright. So we're going to go ahead, get an BeamNG 200BX again, and this time we're going to go with a more normal version. We'll get the Type LS. And then we could head towards the mountain in the distance, for we are going to climb the road next to the mountain. We're not actually going to get to that mountain. It's way too steep to try to climb it with an BeamNG 200BX. That's the direction I want to head. We'll slow it down a little bit right here. I don't want to do anything too reckless through this section. I want to make sure I do this all in one attempt, mostly because there's only one spot where I need to go fast. The rest, it doesn't really matter too much. Just maintain speed and don't be an idiot. Like right there, these rocks sticking out, don't be an idiot. Okay, how badly is the car damaged? Not too bad. Just pulling a little bit to the left. Anyways, we got to jump right here. We're going to hit it a little bit lower speed than I wanted because of the small amount of damage to the vehicle. And then we just kind of keep rolling and rolling. Nothing over there, so we'll just whoop all the way back up to here. And instead of actually using this to climb the hill, we're going to need something faster, I'm realizing. So, enough of that. Let's go Barstow, and we want the drag edition. Now, actually, believe it or not, at the very start of this video, the Demon was faster than this one because it has a higher top speed. This one has a low top speed, but it has insane acceleration. So we actually have two jumps we're going to be doing. One is right here. An amazing amount of height. Ooh, land right in the water. Right in the water. Come on. Oh, that was beautiful. Unfortunately, water still hurts. It's not like, oh, it's a soft cushion that makes the car undamaged. No, that car is still really, really beat up. So back up to that jump, and then we're going to continue along the road for the even bigger jump, which actually this road, whoa, ha! Okay, calm down. I know you want to jump. Just chill out for a second. I was saying, though, it might actually be a road that's better for the Demon because of how long it is. I'm not sure yet. Let's see here. Nah, because we're barely reaching the top speed of this thing. We could fly through there and have a lot smoother landing than I would have expected for that speed, although it still destroyed the engine of the car. We'll just fix up the car and try to drive along the dirt right here because there's a section I want to go to. Although I really don't want to be driving a drag car to it, I'm going to do it anyways. So over here, we have a racetrack. And if we're on a racetrack, we need a much better car for a racetrack. So we're going to grab the racing version of the Hirochi Sunburst. We'll go the DCT one because dual clutch transmissions shift fast. Someday I got to own a car with a dual clutch just to see what it's like. You know, I always think every time I'm shifting in my car, man, imagine how fast that would be if I could shift like a dual clutch, because no human can shift that fast. I'm sure there are race car drivers out there who can get close to the speed, but dual clutches are crazy, man. So anyways, focus on the racetrack, not talking about transmissions here. As far as I know, this track can be driven in either direction, although I am noticing that the signs are pointing for the direction I'm coming through, so I guess... No, it goes both directions, we're good. They are triangular signs that show you only the direction you need to go, no matter which direction you come from. It's like magic. And a lot less work for the people who work at the track. You gotta take this corner into the corner car. I am driving poorly. What's new, right? Come on, go around these corners good. Let's finish it up smooth, alright? Slow it down just a little, get a little bit of a spin, and that was a lot better. Wasn't fast, but I stayed on the track. That's an improvement. We got some stands over there, so you can see like this was a track where people would watch, but the tree's kind of taken over, so this is more of a abandoned racetrack, I would guess, although the pavement is still pretty smooth. Not like all cracked and bumpy, it's still perfectly usable as a racetrack. So there you go. A lap of that, and now we're going to head back to where we started. Well, actually, do I want to drive or do I want to teleport? Hard choice. I think we'll just go ahead and drive it. Gives you another chance to kind of see the size of the perimeter of the map, and I know we get to do that really, really big jump one more time going in this direction. I don't know how fast we need to go for this car because this was not planned. We'll just try about the same speed we used for the other car. And actually, wow, that was so close. Like an eighth of a mile per hour more. We would have made that as smooth as possible. Kind of unfortunate that it was so close, but not quite. Anyways, continue along a little bit more. And actually, since I don't know of any more interesting jumps, I'll see you when I get to spawn. And if you're wondering why I didn't just teleport back here, that's because the teleports are in all kinds of crazy locations. Because I use them in all kinds of ways to make the editing as smooth as possible. So we're going to go with the rally version of the Hirochi Sunburst because we're going to do some rallying. You'll see there's a rally course right there. That's not the one we're going to be doing. We'll be doing that one in a little bit later. And what we're going to do is right here, and you have to enter it a little bit awkwardly because there's some rocks right at the front. But once you get past those rocks, you don't have to worry about anything else except for clearing these jumps as smoothly as possible. So you actually have to have a pretty decent amount of speed control to do that. That one, not the best amount of control right there, but enough control to clear it and keep driving and hopefully complete this with a single car. Although I do notice it is now pulling a little bit to the side. I gotta really massage the car and be gentle with it to make sure I don't make any mistakes. Nice and easy. Come on, steer in. I know you're damaged, but you gotta steer. See, my passenger, he would have fallen out the car by now. Alright, we got Floor right here to clear that jump. Perfect. I wasn't sure about that. Oh, this thing sucks at steering. I don't know what I did, but it just will not steer. At the start, it steered great. Now it's like, okay, just please do it for me. But that's the end. We made it. Just floor it so we can clear the jump. Doesn't matter if we break anything else. That's a complete run. So now we'll go back over here and get a different rally car. We're going to go with the Bishu Pessima rally version. And then we're going to do the other rally course, which ends a little bit more dramatically. This one actually has some fun at the end, where the other one, it just stopped. Right up here, going to slow down a tiny bit. Make sure I don't crash, and then away we go through this one. And this one feels like a different type of rally course because it doesn't have any of those jumps in the middle, but the terrain itself is a lot more bumpy, and you don't have like defined jumps. It's more of you hit the bumps, and hopefully you don't hit them in an awkward way that rolls your car over. So that's why I'm staying a little slow through here. 40-50 miles per hour feels like a safe speed for my capabilities, which are very, very low. Like right there, you could have been going so fast you just fly. Definitely don't want to do that. If I had to choose which one I like better, if I'm just driving around for fun, this one. If it was like a time trial, I would do the other one, because having to hit those jumps at the perfect speed or as fast as possible without destroying your car, that sounds like a fun challenge. Also, there are some shipping containers. Hello, containers. Goodbye, containers. Let's keep on driving along, ignoring all things on the side of the road. Come on, stay on this thing. Stay on this road. I believe in you. You may be a Pessima, but in my heart, you're a real rally car. I don't know what I'm even talking about anymore. Point is, I believe in my car. I don't believe in my skills, but my car can compensate for me. Please compensate harder, because I am just all over the... Oh no! Wheel axle broken at the end too! Here's the jump, and it's a miserable jump because I can barely steer. That is not the way I wanted to end this video. How about instead we end it the exact way we started? We'll get a car that's fast in a straight line, and then we'll hit the big jump that we hit at the start of the video. So we'll go SBR for it. Don't know if we want the hill climb version, because all that extra arrow might actually reduce the top speed. So we'll go with a not hill climb version. And, oh, that green is the same as the grass. Bad color choice, WhyBeAre. What are you doing? Get a different color on this thing. Something that stands out. Like pink. Pepto-Bismol Pink returned! It's been a long time since I've used Pepto-Bismol Pink. I swear, they need to sponsor me. So here we go. Onto the straightaway, off the road, because I'm trying to maintain as much speed as possible. Might have actually slowed me down going through the dirt. I'm not really sure. It was a strategic decision that probably had very little payoff, even if it would have worked. So I'll be able to hit the jump at a decent speed, but no 200 miles per hour like we had with the Demon. Going to be about 180 when we hit the jump. And then we fly. So that will do it. Till next time, there's something glowing in the water. I gotta go check that out, and then the video will actually end. What is that? How did I never noticed there was something glowing in the water? Usually I'm just watching the car fling through the air. I don't know if you guys saw that. We gotta check this out. Hold on. And then we're gonna do another jump, because that jump's fun. I gotta do 3 of those. That's a fun jump. I saw something red. There it is. I don't know what it is, but go at it. I really don't know what it is. Just like a random checkpoint. Okay. Well then, let's get this car out of the water. And for the final run, we are going to use a Civetta Bolide 390 GTR Group 4. Has a pretty decent top speed. Not as much as the Demon, as you'll be seeing, but it should be a little bit more than the SBR4 we just used, I would think. We'll find out. It's also a little bit harder to control. I had a little tiny skidder right there after that skidding ended, though. It's pretty stable. I think having that big wing at the back helps for the high-speed stability a lot. 140. Well, I don't know. It's not pulling that hard. Maybe the wing is a lot of downforce. This thing has the wing and it has some splitters, so looks like it's going to actually be a tiny bit slower, believe it or not. Now on this one, let's go slow-mo at the top. Yeah. And then full speed till we hit the ground. So until next time, for real this time, this has been WhyBeAre. I'll see ya.